Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So we are still in Silverton, Colorado, and it is Thursday, and we are going to check out the Rio Grande 315 Durango Railroad Historical Society Outdoor Museum. So this is all their rolling stock that they would have used on a railroad, and they've built this beautiful building, which I'd love to have for a storage shed. I could get a lot of stuff in there to house some of the rolling stock. So we're going to go ahead and walk through here and look at some things. So these were the cattle cars that they would have used to transport horses, cows, pigs, whatever you wanted to put in a cattle car. I always liked these. They're just really neat the way they're built. So this is all narrow gauge railroad equipment. It's built on 3-foot rail instead of 4-foot 8-inch rail like we have all over the rest of the United States. Just really neat the way they built these cars. Now this one's a double decker, so it's got a deck built up. So this one would have been for like goats and sheep like that. So that one would have been more for horses and cows. So one of the guys that was in charge of actually creating this railroad went over to Europe and studied the narrow gauge railroads over there and came back here and implemented the idea of the narrow gauge to run it up through the Animas River Valley because it took less space. You could turn tighter curves, took less railroad bed, you had to move less ballast to make a bed, didn't have to have such wide cuts through the mountains. Thought maybe this was a refrigerated car. I don't think it is. Well, it would have been an ice car. They'd put blocks of ice in it. Oh, here's one. Here's a refrigerator car. These are all wooden. Most of the equipment was wooden. It's really neat to see these. I only ever seen them in books, VHS tapes, YouTube. Here's the refrigerator car. They would actually open up the hatches on the ends and they would slide in big chunks of ice. That's how they kept things cool. So this would just be your high side gondola. Carry a load of 50,000 pounds to 25 tons. It's 875 cubic feet. Nothing in it right now. Give you an idea how wide these timber sidewalls are. Took a lot of wood to build this railroad. Not only railroad ties, but equipment. These cars I always thought were really neat because the bottoms dump and material slide out of them. So you could haul stone, dirt, ore. As you can see, that side is in a dumped position. You'd probably have to get in there and shovel out the center still. Then we just have a standard flat car. Then we have something real interesting down here. This is called a flanger, and it actually plows snow out from between the train tracks and push snow off the side. It's all air operated. It would get that snow out of the middle so it wasn't affecting the flanges on the wheels. Kept the snow and ice out of there. They usually run a locomotive with a snowplow on the front and then pull this between the two. Yeah, there's some pictures of them in operation. And they still use flangers to this day on like Donner Pass. There's some pretty good videos on them, how they work, but totally different new design. That red signal at the top would tell you if it was up or down, because it would have to be in the up position for going over switches, and then down when they got back into straight track or curves. Come down here and check out this side dump car. Length inside 31 feet, width inside 7 foot, height inside 3 foot, capacity 50,000 pounds. It's really cool to see this equipment and how well preserved. Let's see, length inside 30 foot, width inside 6 foot 10, height inside 4 foot 2 inches. Be really neat if they were open and you could see inside of them. Alright, we'll go walk through some of the equipment that's outside, not under the shed. Go for a walk around the depot here. I believe this is an original depot. Sure looks like it. Got some more rail cars over here for, must be just train rides. Must be some of the older equipment they must have used to use. How much you want to bet the bear got in the trash last night? I've seen bear paw prints around there. I've yet to see a bear. But I'm pretty sure that's what worked the trash over. They say they're like little kids in the trash can. String stuff all over the place. No bear prints though, I see so far. Problem is, this ground's so gravelly that you wouldn't really be able to see his paw print. There's not a lot of mud that would make a print. You need to set up a trail camera out here. They say that he likes to go to the transfer station where they transfer their trash, and he really works that place over. Well, probably a different bear than this one, but that one really works that place over. And they claim a couple weeks ago he tipped the dumpster over in our camp. but we have yet to see him. I'd really like to see a bear. Just imagine sitting here back in the early days waiting on a train to come from Durango to pick you up to take you back to Durango. It's interesting how they turn the trains around here. They actually have a Y track that they'll pull in, back out, get turned around, and back into town. I don't really see much in there. Cool thing I've figured out about Colorado is you can like walk around almost anywhere and nobody says a word to you. Like back at camp, I spent a lot of time by myself up by the old mill checking things out. Nobody ever come up there. Nobody ever said a word. Seems like back home somebody would have to at least come once and say something to you. Alright, let's go look at some other stuff. Looks like we just got a normal box car here, but you can see how narrow these tracks are. Kind of give you an idea. It was really a light duty railroad. But none of the equipment was real heavy. Let's see, what do we got here? For trainmen only. So these must have been sleeping cars, maybe? Work train cars. Maintenance away. All wood construction. Small box cars here for storage. See what's inside this one. Another big gondola. Another cattle car. It must have been in the earlier years they were red in color and then they eventually started painting black. Got a cool little speeder with some little flat cars behind it. Walk down and check out what we got here. It's one of their newer diesel locomotives. I believe these come about in the 60s on this railroad. I'll walk down and have a look at it. So this is actually a really cool looking little locomotive. I think if I do my garden railway like I want to do around the new property, I think this is one that I'm going to model. I'd like to do the whole railway based off of the narrow gauge railway in G scale. I think that'd be really cool because this has always been one of my favorite railroads. Got some hopper cars behind it. Ballast service half full. Capacity half full. 23,200 pounds empty, 60,000 loaded. pretty interesting how thick the frame is on this. Looks like it's powered by, oh, got an 855 Cummins in there. I'll be darned. Generator, air compressor. It's kind of cool because the wheel assemblies are pinned together right there. They bend there and they bend up at top, so it's a pretty interesting setup. Yep, another Cummins on this side. I bet this thing sounds pretty good going down the tracks. Now, if it was built in the 60s, I don't think, no, them wouldn't be original motors. I think them have been changed out. All right, let's go find some other stuff to look at. Kind of a flat car with something on it. Not exactly sure what it is. £60,000 capacity, 23,800 pounds empty. It's like some sort of tank on a flat car. It's for water. Then we got this interesting little crane here. Cylinders on all the corners for stabilization. Detroit engine. Short little boom. Oh, somebody broke the glass out of it. Not sure what that is. Neat little crane though. There's the brand of it. Built in Illinois. 10-foot radius. It'll lift 26,000 pounds. Well, over the end or over the side, it depends. 20,000 over the side, free on rail, or no, free on rail without the outriggers down, 20,000. Outriggers down, it increases it to 26,600 at a 10-foot radius. Had to kind of study the chart there a little bit. So my LS78 link belt will lift a lot more than this little guy, if rigged properly. All right, let's walk over here. Looks like we've got some sort of Galloping Goose. It's not the one that C.W. McCall sang about, but it is some sort of little Galloping Goose. These were built when the railroad fell on hard times and they were trying to figure out what they could do to make some revenue. So they created these to transport people and other goods, mail, stuff like that. This is just a small one. This isn't the big Galloping Gooses. but it's kind of the same principle. Made it out of some old car or truck, put it on wheels and put it on the railroad. There's a lot of history about these. We open this up and have a look. Oh yeah, look at under there. I'll be darned. That's cool. I wonder if there's anything over here we can see. So I'd venture to say there's something interesting in that building, but doesn't look like there's anybody around. Everything's locked. There are some really neat buildings around here. Oh, actually I can see in the window. I don't see anything in there. Must not be any locomotives around here or anything. Some sort of press. A little flat car over there by the fence. All right, so I think we saw everything there is to see here. I'll go find Madison. We're gonna go hit up another museum today. We're gonna check out the mining museum here in town. And I think there's like a city museum we're gonna go look at. So I'm gonna start a whole nother video for them. So anyways, if you enjoyed this episode of Dirt Green Steel, give me a like, I'd appreciate that. And if you want to stick around, give me a subscribe. Thank you for watching, and we will see you all in the next one.